want to put a parlay on the 8th. I don't know betting at all.
No, you don't.
I tried to,
that was terrible. That was awful.
Parlay on the 8th of July.
What? Whenever he said parlay,
I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
I was thinking Pirates of the Caribbean. I was like, parlay?
Yeah, right.
Anyway, hey, we here.
We are certainly here.
Certainly.
And we're going to talk about Uncut Gems.
Uncut Gems.
Yeah, I'm going to take my glasses off right now, but we'll just use all that footage. So,
why do you have a problem with your glasses?
I don't have a problem with that. I just don't like the way the light reflects.
Oh.
It's tough to read.
Oh, sorry.
I like my glasses.
I say you look great with glasses on.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome, man.
Thanks, bro.
You're welcome.
This is a love watch, man.
It's a love watch, man.
Yeah. Ricky, what are your first thoughts on it, man?
I really liked it.
Yep.
I thought it was so great, really. It's one of those movies where, like, I read some of the reviews and people were saying like nerve-wracking and it's very intense and anxiety and things like that, and I was like, cool, I'm all about that. And I went in and I was so tense, like I felt myself so clenched, but engrossed in how anxious it was making me feel. Yeah. And I ended up really liking it so much. The Safdie Brothers, in my opinion, made like a really, really engaging and fun film. That's like very off the beaten path kind of thing. Like, it's not like another movie I've seen in quite some time.
It's pretty unique.
I really liked it a lot. Yeah, it's fresh. It was very fresh as far as like all the other types of stuff that was coming out this year. To end my year like by watching like Uncut Gems, I was like, yeah, that's a great movie. And it actually really bummed me out. It got no Oscar love. 0 nominations. Oh, wow. Yeah, 0 nominations.
That's a bummer.
How do you feel about Uncut Gems, Justin?
So, disclaimer for this, which is that the day I saw it, about an hour before, I went and donated blood. And so I felt super loopy as I was going in the theater. And even as I sat there, I was kind of thinking, like, I don't know if I can make it through this movie. I feel really kind of out of it. I feel like I might pass out or something. Maybe I should just leave. But I thought, no, I'll tough it out. I'll be fine. And so I just felt a little off the whole time. Okay. And so that tension and everything, I didn't really feel that too much. Okay. I guess I felt just a little bit removed from all of it because I wasn't feeling 100%. Yeah. So I'd like to see it again at some point and see if maybe I catch on more. I do think it's really well acted, very well directed. Yeah. And I think something that's so interesting about this film is we've had films about alcoholics or drug addicts. We rarely get to see people who are addicted to gambling. Yeah. And I think that was really a nice look into that world. And I love how, I don't know if there are many actors that could pull off Sandler's charm in this, because even as he's making boneheaded decisions that you're thinking like, what are you doing, dude? Just pay the guy back. Don't go gamble on it. He's just so charming that you can't help but also kind of not necessarily root for him, but it's not wow, you're a stupid idiot. It's just like, oh, come on, man. It's almost like a friend, right? It's like one of your best friends making a decision that you're just like, no, dude, come on. And so I think he does really well in that. Right. Kevin Garnett is awesome.
He is really, actually, it's so funny because Kevin Garnett is actually really good in this movie. He plays himself.
That guy was
really
so
great.
Awesome in the NBA, man. It's great to see that he's good.
He was really good in this movie. I have to agree with you. It was something very surprising because what's really, this movie made me laugh quite a bit throughout because like they drop in these like 2012, these like early 2010s.
I remember that playoff series. I remember it. Yeah.
Like, they had KG, and then they had, like, The Weeknd. That was, like, right when, like, his first albums were starting to really pop and everything like that. Yeah. They dropped in Cash Out. Do you remember Cash Out, the rapper?
No, I don't.
Right in the beginning of the movie, Cash Out was with Lakeith Stanfield's character, Damani. He was the first guy that was in there before KG came in. So he had the rapper Cash Out in there. Cash Out is a one-hit wonder that had a big hit song around, like, 2012 that was called Cash Out. Okay. They had him in the movie, and I was like, holy crap! Yeah, and then later, they had Trinidad James in there. Okay. And another guy who had, like, one-hit song around that time period. Yeah. And I was like, what?
That's a really
They, like, reached back, and they actually got those guys to come in. And I was like, pretty cool. You guys are really working to, like, make us realize this is not right now. This is 7 years ago, 8 years ago, however long. Like, this is of its time type of thing. Yeah. And what you were saying was really great. Yeah, we get to see lots of alcohol. We get to see lots of drug addiction type movie. Even now, like a bigger thing now is like sex addiction type movies. You rarely see gambling addiction type movies. And what this movie did so well was, like what you were saying, it made you like his character, but even more, you wanted him to be right. Even though you're like, you idiot, like you should just pay back this money, but somewhere inside of you, you're like, yeah, but like, if you're right, dude, like, that's awesome.
I think that's one of the
but here's the thing, he was right
he hits
a
in
lot.
That first bet, right?
Yeah.
Like he hits in that first
he
Celtics
was right.
bet, but they had canceled it.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it's...
He has a thing. At the end of the movie, he has this great monologue that he says to Kevin Garnett about how people want to be dominant, how people want to win, how people approach their lives, and how like everything feels so out of control and powerless. But then there's one thing that you can be the best at. Yeah. And like you'll do anything to be the best at this thing. Yeah. And so like I like resonate with that so hard, and like this is like one of the things I love to gamble. I love to gamble. Talk to me about that. I do. I'm pretty good at staying away from it because I don't have a lot of money. But whenever I get the chance to gamble, I love it a lot, and I would spend all my money doing it. Yeah. So this movie resonates with me in that way. It's like I get it, man. Like you want that gambler's high. Yeah. That gambler's like risking it kind of thing. And so my friend,
I'm so the opposite. Maybe that's why I don't like it as much. And I'm the kind of guy that like be like, I need to go get jeans, and I'll go into a store and be like, $40. No, I can't even risk that.
And my friend saw this before me with his girlfriend, and he liked it a lot, and she didn't. And he's like, I think it's because she doesn't understand gamble. Like she doesn't understand people who love to gamble. Like she's like, he's like, I don't like him. He bothers me. He's frustrating. Like it's because she doesn't understand his drive and what that gambling does for him in that way. And it's not just gambling because he's not just betting. This movie is about high stakes deals all over the place. You know, he's a Adam Sandler's character is like a diamond, a jeweler. He's a jeweler. He has a very exclusive jeweling store, and so he's making lots of these high stakes deals all the time. And not only is he gambling with people's money and things like that, he meets Kevin Garnett, and Kevin Garnett wants this uncut gem that's supposedly supposed to be worth quite a bit of money. So Adam trades. Kevin Garnett says, you can hold on to this for 24 hours if I get your championship ring. And so he's like, okay, I'll just hold it as collateral. But then he goes and pawns it for money that he then bets on Kevin Garnett. Like, that's the kind of like high stakes dealing that he's doing that's getting on everybody else's nerves in this movie. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, oh, like it gets me excited, like man.
Doubling down.
That kind of thing, as a person who loves to gamble, got me super like, oh man, here we go.
I bet there is something to that because again, like when I witness those, I don't think, oh yeah, here we go. I think like, what are you doing, dude? Like,
well, no, it's risky, but
that's what I mean. Is I don't feel that tingle of like it's fun risk though. It's like a chance for something big. Like I don't feel that. I just feel like, no, it's terrible.
Well,
it's gonna go wrong.
Well, as me, I would of course be freaking out, but being one step removed from it, I was able to be like, oh boy, let's do it, baby.
But yeah, why do you think it's called Uncut Gems?
I think, I've been racking my brain about this. I've been having struggles connecting the title to what I believe the themes to be. Mm-hmm. I guess maybe it's because like an uncut gem is something that it's raw. It hasn't been processed yet. You know, it's kind of in a state of chaos. You know what I mean? It has not been refined. Mm-hmm. It's broad. And there's something about this like unbridled nature that is embodied in Adam Sandler's character. I think his name's Howard. Yeah. And then also like connects with Kevin Garnett right away. You know, he sees this thing and immediately he's drawn into this type of rock, which they call a black opal. I don't know if that's a real thing. I didn't do my research on this, but they say it's a black opal, which is supposed to be super rare. And apparently it like reflects all the different colors of like the whole spectrum. So like
he says like the universe,
yeah,
it, right?
So like there's this like inside this that contained in this thing is this like almost like swirling chaos of a menagerie of possibilities and color. Yeah. And so I think that's for me it's like
that's an interesting read.
It's unrefined, but powerful.
That's interesting. I really dig that interpretation. I was thinking it's kind of like, I think one of the most interesting shots in the film is pretty early on when we go into the opal itself and we're seeing kind of all the inner workings of it, and then slowly we transition to inside of Howard's colon, right? And we're seeing him. So I really think there's some parallel to Uncut Gems to humanity. And for example, the opal, right? He thinks it's worth so much, and when it gets appraised, he sees it's worth much less. Isn't that the same as how, as a human being, even as Howard, he thinks he can do all these things. He's so powerful, but in reality, he's not, and he has to kind of grapple with that. He grapples with that like torturous monologue where he's crying at his desk, right? And his girlfriend Julia Fox, who's never acted before,
and she was so good.
She's amazing.
I'll admit, at first, I wasn't quite with her.
Yeah.
After the whole scene with like the weekend in the bathroom, I was like, "You're awesome."
I just couldn't believe that
she's great.
Acted.
She's fantastic. You know what she kind of reminds me of? She kind of reminds me of the girl from Florida, the Florida Project, the mom.
Oh, really?
Like that kind of like, you've never done anything before and you can give this kind of performance. Yeah. Like, wow.
But yeah, I mean, along those lines, like where, again, he's not a fully formed person, but he has this desire to be this opal that he thinks, right? And even like when the film ends, right, he gets, it's always spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
Gets shot, and then we go back into the moon, right, to explore this potentiality that was lost, this uncut gem that never was fully formed. So yeah, I think that's kind of my interpretation.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I think then kind of like you're right. Like I think it was more like the chaos within us.
Yeah. Kind
of thing, because like we see this like I said, the universe tucked inside this thing. And then you're right. We are literally inside of Howard, and to try to show that like there is this chaos in him. And the film ends with like he wins this big bet, right? And then the guy comes and just pops him right in the face. He dies with this huge smile on his face, and so at all costs he was going to succeed.
And what a great metaphor, right, for gambling, that you have this high and then followed by, in this case, the worst of lows. And it's almost like, I heard this on a podcast, they were talking about this film, where they said, do you think that was almost like a mercy? Like, not that the character, the guy who shot him, was thinking, I'm gonna do this mercifully, but is that maybe that brutal roller coaster that Howard's on that had him sobbing scenes earlier? It's over now. Like, is that maybe, it seems to me too that this is the only way it would ever end for you, Howard. So if not this guy putting the bullet in you, that was how you were gonna die. Pissing off the wrong person in New York with your ways.
Potential. I mean, that's not fully unrealistic. I mean,
like, when is he gonna stop?
Right, exactly. He just won $1 million.
Would that score have really been like,
he's
I'm
won
done?
$1 million. I
don't think so.
That he can then, do all other kinds of things that he wants, and so. No, I mean, and that's kind of what he said in that monologue that he gives to Kevin Garnett. That's kind of what he says. He's like, "This is how I come out on top.
I think
this is how I do it."
In that sense, that it's Kevin Garnett too, because Kevin Garnett is a guy who went straight to the league from high school. He's actually one of the kind of like first when that was going on.
Yeah, and like LeBron was up in there too.
Yeah,
they stopped doing that.
Yeah, they stopped doing that, and so it's almost like, when you think about it, that means like Garnett must have known like this is my purpose for years of his life, and so in a way, Sandler's saying that same thing, right? Like, this is my purpose: is
be a dealer, a wheeler and dealer.
Do this, yeah. This is my game. This is how I win. So. Yeah,
I love that line. This is how I win.
Yeah,
I love that line too, because it does bridge that gap of like superiority. Like Kevin Garnett is gonna kick butt and do everything he can to win that ring, you know what I mean? Win another ring.
Yeah.
And he did in that year. And so it's like this, and he looks at me and says, you know what? You do your thing. This is how I do my thing. And I love that like comparison of like being this like dealer, basically.
I don't think Garnett did win that year. 2012? Because I'm pretty sure that was the year that LeBron had Game 6 against the Celtics.
Well, no, they were playing the Sixers, they said.
That was the first round.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I'm pretty sure that was the year that the Celtics were up 3-2 on the Heat, and they were like, "Oh, we got LeBron. We're in his head."
Oh, that's right.
He came out in Game 6 and like didn't crack any jokes, did not say a word, just went full Terminator.
That's right.
I'm a basketball fan, man. That's
fair.
I think that's LeBron's
that was regional. That's right. Celtics was regional. The regional.
But still, super interesting. I'm glad they used. It made me question, like, was this a real story that he had this opal or something? Like, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
That's what was also funny is like. It's like he's in the locker room and he's just like basically like face
Tuning
deep
out
into
Doc
this
Rivers,
thing.
yeah.
He's like, you gotta be like Kevin. Yeah. You gotta have your head in the game. It's like his head's not in the game at all.
I wondered, they must have just gotten Doc to do a voiceover or something. Yeah, like he didn't want to come in for filming.
Kevin is putting his all on this court. And he's just like, his eyes are just like glued to this thing. Yeah. And it was cracking me up, but it was really great.
If it was Brooklyn Kevin Garnett, that would not have been as good of a season. He was a little bit too old at that point.
Yeah, everybody gets there.
Yeah. So what would you recommend this film?
I would. I can tell you that it's a film that's not for everybody. Like what's really interesting on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like its critic score is really high and its audience score is actually way lower. Because I think like it's kind of like people like my friend and his girlfriend, where some people really get it. Either you get it and you're into it, or you don't get it and you're like, this is just making me feel stressed and uncomfortable. And I don't like Adam Sandler's character. I loved him. I thought he was fan-freaking-tastic. And also I thought Lakeith Stanfield was really great too. And as we said, shout out to Kevin Garnett. Great performance. Do more movies, man. Yeah, go for it.
Do it.
Do more movies.
Although the tough thing with Garnett is it's almost like the Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson problem, when like every one of The Rock's films they have to come up with some backstory about why he's so big. Yeah.
Why are you so big? Oh, I was in the Marines.
Oh, you know he's a retared NFL player. Like just.
They do that with John Cena too.
Yeah, they have to. Man.
Cena can't just be a guy that loves to go to the gym. Yeah. He's got to be.
Gotta have some backstory.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I'd say definitely go see this film. I know I want to go see it again. That's the thing, is even in my my almost catatonic state watching it, I was still like, this is a very good film. I can tell it was very good.
It's so well crafted. So well crafted.
And so I know I'm definitely gonna watch it again. I think it's honestly the type of film that anyone could go see, because it's one of those, like, it's kind of an art house film, but I think it's pretty action packed, and there's an action packed. I mean, but there's a lot of stakes going on throughout it. And
pacing wise, it
not too long of a film. I think it's really good.
It's a very fast film.
Yeah.
I mean, I talk about this all the time. This is a film that I would recommend to my family. I think my dad and my uncle would love this. I think my mom would hate it. I think my mom would not be able to stand it at all.
Fair enough. So, Uncut Gems. Go see it.
Go see it. I liked it. Outraged. No Oscars. Outraged.